Today we have our two beautiful ladies with us that we are coming to interview. They are from the diaspora. I'll let them introduce themselves to you. So, guys, maybe if you can introduce yourself to us.
Definitely, definitely. My name is Nikesha Amanomi. Yeah, I'm a diaspora from Pennsylvania, Philly in the house. All right, that's what it is. Hi, it's the girl Casey Worldwide. I'm a model, slash content creator, slash everything. Go subscribe to my YouTube, Casey Worldwide, and I'm from Philadelphia, PA. I'm 21 years old and I'm living in Ghana. And
Guys, you are definitely in a public place, so there is a little bit of noise over here. So, guys, don't blame me for the video. At least I know you guys will do it for me. You keep subscribing, you keep supporting my channel, and so forth. So, guess what? If you see something that is not even part of the video, don't worry. We are in a restaurant. Can you just tell me why you came to Ghana? Why did you come to Ghana?
yeah, for me, it was more of a spiritual journey. I was called, I had a dream to come to Ghana. And so I'm really here out of obedience. Literally, yeah. Me, I came to Ghana because I just wanted to get the experience and know what it's like to be in the motherland and to know what it's like to be back home, to find out what being African really means. So when I got the opportunity to come here, I just was like, I'm gonna just come.
So definitely, I need to say this. I can see that your cakes are ready, and I wish you guys would start eating for people to see that Ghana is free. Africa is free. You can choose to do anything in Africa. So as we are talking, then you keep eating the cake and so forth.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure. So y'all, I got a chocolate cheesecake. And so we had chocolate charade, and I like to do half and half because I like options. And so this is half pistachio and half chocolate. Eclairs all.
So what are some of the factors that maybe somebody wants to move to Africa, maybe a diaspora wants to move to Africa? What are some of the factors that the person has to consider before moving into Ghana?
Yeah, like I think the biggest thing for me is to like eliminate your expectations, especially if you're coming for the first time. If you have all these expectations of this experience to be something that you have in your mind, you're either going to be let down or overly excited. In order to be equanimous, you just got to just come here and allow yourself to just have the experience. For me, I agree with that. Like, I think you should just come here with an open mind. That's right. Also, visit before you decide to just move over here. See if it's something you really want to do, because it's not for everyone. So right. Definitely come here with an open mind and don't be afraid to try new things, to take the risk. Like, yeah. And don't come over here with trying to get an American experience as well. Yeah.
I can definitely see that for you two there's in the midst now, me, your mom, you, Casey, and my camera guy, Coco.
Yeah. Coco.
So we have more YouTubers.
Yeah.
So today, we are all promoting Africa as usual. I just want to know, what were you expecting before coming to Ghana?
To be honest, I didn't know what to expect. Same. I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, I did an interview on Coco's channel, and that will be releasing real soon. And in that channel, I was speaking about how, for me, it wasn't like I see these videos and how people are like, I'm in Africa, I'm having fun. For me, it really was a spiritual journey. So I was expecting to fulfill the things that God was calling me to do. Like I said, I came here in a dream, and it was things that I needed to do when I came here. And so I really was just being obedient to that call. For me, I didn't know what to expect either. It was kind of like it kind of happened fast for me. It was just like, okay, Ghana, we have Ghana, we're going to Ghana. So I couldn't really like what I did was I went on YouTube and I watched YouTubers and all that, but their YouTube could have prepared me for my experience coming here. Like you had to just experience it. Like no YouTube video, no amount of research could have prepared me to come here. You have to come and then experience it and then decide like, okay, this is what you need. Yeah. Like
So being a YouTuber in Ghana promoting Africa and also telling people to move to Africa, how does it look like?
May I speak to that? Yeah. I don't have the intention to tell people to come to Africa and move if you're not called. That's what I keep telling people. If you're not called, if you're not led, don't just be jumping out here because Africa is a very, very, very powerful and spiritual place, and you need to get grounded and rooted spiritually here, or you can have an immensely beautiful experience, or it can be very detrimental to you. I want to say that, okay? So for me, I feel like if spiritually you're being called to come, then definitely come, and Spirit will also link you up with the right people, lead you, guide you, so that your experience here can be rooted in something beyond enjoyment. Especially now, I feel like they speak of things of this being beyond a return. So a lot of people come to Africa and exploit. That's a real thing. You can come to this place and take if you want to, but Africa also requires you. It requires your best. You are home. So when we take care of home, then home will always take care of us.
You have something to say?
No. Yeah.
You made mention of opportunities in Africa. So you being a diaspora, being an African American, what are some of the opportunities that you think that as a diaspora coming to Ghana, coming to Africa, will have?
For me, honestly, like I said again, because it's spiritual for me, I had the opportunity to connect to my brothers and my sisters. Like I see you as being myself, right? And so I also had not only an opportunity, but also a responsibility to let others understand my culture, maybe how I process things. And also, really, a major responsibility for me is to get rooted here and understand this culture and how things are moving. I think that we be out of order when we come here and expect Ghana to be like America, but I do feel like as Africans in and out of the diaspora, as we come together, it's in our best interest for us to merge and create something new, something fresh, and something innovative. And that can only happen if we understand each other's journeys and walk in life. And I feel like that's our responsibility.
How are you?
Could you re-ask the question?
Yeah, I was talking about opportunities diasporas will have coming to Ghana or maybe Africa.
Like the opportunities that we have coming here.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean about the opportunity?
You know,
Like,
most African Americans sometimes they come to Africa because of vacation, they come to Africa because of just enjoyment and education and so forth.
Yeah.
So they don't intend to establish any business and so forth.
okay.
So you being over here for a very long time now, maybe possibly like a year or two, what are some of the things that you consider as opportunity to venture into?
I would definitely say into content creation too. I feel the most inspired being a YouTuber over here because I feel like more people need to see Africa, like point blank period, and the real Africa. Like if you go to my channel, my content is very real. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't try to paint this image like I'm living an American lifestyle. No, I'm in these Ghana trenches, Ghana fufu. Like I'm really out here. It's the real Africa though, like how the community is with each other, how everybody is so loving and caring. Like I'm showing the realness. So I feel like the opportunity here for me in my experience would be to show Africa in the world because but like if you would have asked me in like maybe 2019 what's Ghana, I wouldn't be able to tell you nothing. And that's not okay. And I watch YouTube a lot. I was watching YouTube then and I didn't know anything about where I'm from. So I feel like, yeah, my opportunity is I can share my experience and show people that, yeah, you can come here, you can survive here, you can live in Africa. People have shoes, people have clothes, they have food. Like that's what I feel like for me.
Yeah. I also want to speak to that too, if I could say, like I always speak about responsibility before I speak about opportunity. And so I love what Casey's my daughter. So I love what my daughter's saying because it triggered something also in me. And I feel like we're all different. And so we were all, I can't speak for the larger collective, right? So in my experience, it was important for me to get rooted here to know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm a farmer, I'm in agriculture, I do food safety. So originally I thought I would be coming here doing all of those things. But when I came here, Africa put me on the like not what I want to do here, but what we need from you. And so some of the skill sets that I'm using here are not the skill sets that I thought I was going to be using. And so to be really honest, I cried about that because I came here having it all planned out about what I thought this experience was going to be. And then Spirit made me do a pivot. And so what I'm learning here is that a lot of people come here. There's an opportunity for project management. A lot of people come here and they start businesses. And when they start businesses, they realize that they can't sit in this energy for a long period of time. They don't know the culture because you can come here and get a business like this, but then you come here and you realize Africa doesn't work the same way that America does. And so people are establishing businesses and then they wind up abandoning these businesses because they don't have the stamina to sit in the energy. I've been here for a little over almost 4 years and I've just been sitting in the energy to try to figure out who I am, where I want to be, what I want to do. So I train my children to also be project managers. And what we're doing is we are in the process of supporting Ghanaian businesses and also American businesses in order to, bring about that longevity. Because a lot of people build business here and they don't last. So if you're looking for longevity, you gotta have a team of people who can support it, manage it, and that's important. So I feel like that is a need. I'm doing that. That's what I'm working on. But I feel like that is a huge business as of right now.
You made something, and I want you to emphasize on that about Africa changing, and or maybe what you think people say about Africa. Do you consider your first year in Africa as you being a failure because you didn't put things in place or what?
Not at all. So first of all, I'm not on nobody's timeline, and I play the long game, so that's real for me.
It's
So
an
no,
investment.
it's an investment of my time. Like even when you think about buying land, building houses, like we're talking about longevity. So if I'm here and I'm only coming on vacation, how do I know I even want to live here? There's so many regions. Like honestly, I'm in Accra. I moved to Accra because I'm getting my children established here, but I live in the jungle. You understand? So with me saying that I live in the jungle, I wanted to give my kids like a smooth kind of, because I know they're not like me being able to live in the jungle. But I say that to say that you don't you don't know what you have the tolerance for every single day. When I came here on vacation, I was like, oh, I love it. I was on this high. But then after 3 months, I was crying every day. That's a real thing. And so I had to redo everything. Like I had to find partnerships outside of my husband. I had to meet friends. These are often, you have to really rebuild your entire life. And I didn't want my whole life to be surrounded by work. That was one of the reasons why I left America. So for me, I didn't need to come here and establish a business right away, but I set myself up very well that financially I'm taken care of, that I can sit in this energy. I didn't come here and create a business that I will wind up resenting later. I'm taking my time to figure out what spirit wants me to do, and then spirit's going to continue to guide me on that journey. Take time.
You have something to say?
No.
Okay, so as you were saying something, we were talking, you made mention of bridging gaps between African Americans
Yeah.
and also Africans. So, in your own way, how do you want that thing to happen? Maybe how do you want African Americans and Africans to come together to bridge those gaps that you've left for a very long time?
Yes, definitely. I want people to know even while we're coming. I think that what I've experienced is this whole notion of come back to Africa, come home. But honestly, when I get here, it's really hard for me to get the documentation that I need to really say that I'm home. Like I am still a resident, or I'm not. I don't have any legal documentation to say that I'm home, and that's a problem. Do you understand? So what I wanted to also make sure was that what they did to us in America, how they used us as slaves to build that country, I wanted to also make sure that even though I'm coming home, that same propaganda was not happening to me. And so that's something that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about when you do the messaging of coming home, there was also a misstep. That there's a whole population of Ghanaians that don't even know we're coming and why we're coming and what we're doing, and they also don't see us as their brothers and sisters. And so I feel like, no, I can't save the world, but everybody that I am responsible for, it is in my best interest to educate them about us coming. It is also my responsibility to know that when I come, my dollars and how we're building here is also affecting the way that they're living. The way that things are going up for Ghanaians here is very, 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 very real. So I have to live as modest as possible and also support my community with boundaries, because you got to have those, okay? But I have to understand that being here is not about building a legacy only for myself. I have to lift up my community and build jobs and create opportunities for Ghanaians too, because they won't resent you. And magic is real. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so if we make it, if they know me to be a community member that has their best interests in mind, then they will love me, protect me spiritually, emotionally, and also financially.
You have something?
Yeah, so I feel like bridging the gap, like I feel like it starts in where you are. Like, we are kind of divided as black, as African people, black, whatever you want to call yourself. If you got melanin, you African. Like, and I feel like people, like where I'm from, people look at African as like, it's not like really a good
Yeah.
thing to say that you're African in the States. Like, well, I can't speak for everyone, but me growing up, being African, that was a slur somebody would call you if you was too dark. So I feel like us bridging the gap, we have to really do our history and feel like what it means to be African. We're royalty. We are the most powerful people in the world, but we don't know that. And we are pinned against each other. We are fighting each other when we could be so powerful. We just all start loving each other, being good towards each other. So it don't even have to be diasporans coming to Africa or people in Africa coming to America. I just feel like it starts with your neighbor. Like, start loving your neighbor, start caring for them. Especially if they got melanin. Show them some love. That's your brother, that's your sister. We one family, one people. So I think we can come to Africa, because even in Africa, everybody is not loyal to each other. People are against each other out here. That's people is not loyal to their brothers out here, and I've witnessed it and I've heard stories. So it starts with us. We have to start putting us first, putting each other first. Yes. So it's internal. Love yourself. You are beautiful. You are amazing, and love your brother. Whatever issues you got going on with this person, forget about it. Forget about it. Forgive them. Forgive them.
And I want to add to that by saying that in order for me to understand the conditions of my brothers and sisters in America, in Haiti, wherever we find our influence in Brazil, it is important to know how our colonizers educated us and colonized our minds. So a lot of times when I'm experiencing what we would call as hardships or like unfavorable things with my fellow, Ghanaians or people from Benin, wherever, I understand how they created division between you and I understand the programming. And so I'm learning that my issue that we might be facing in this moment is not necessarily you or I, but that programming that was here. So it's very important. And I will say, I'm saying this, and it sounds very, very good, but I also cry about that. I also sometimes cry when I see how colonized our mindset is in America, in Africa, when I'm in Jamaica, when I'm in Benin, to see how we have forgotten the essence of who we are. And so, no, I can't save the world. But like I said, this is my daughter. I take time in house and also whoever I'm responsible for to do that work. I'm committed to us.
I want to ask you this question. I think this question goes directly to you. Most youth in America, most African American youth in America, whenever their parents bring the idea of them moving a family to Africa, they start to fight with their parents, they start to fight or maybe argue with their parents and so forth. In your own way, do you think the youth in America, the diaspora youth in America, they should move to Africa in order for us to build Africa together? How would you also advise those youth to move to Africa for us to build Africa together?
Well, I would, like I said, I would definitely visit first, like, because, like how my mom said, people's minds are so stuck on the colonized way. Like, it ain't gonna be for everybody. And, I don't know. Like, I really don't know the answer to that, honestly. But I could say just come to Africa, get the experience. If you get the opportunity, come to Africa. And I can't guarantee that you're going to like it because you're so used to one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know what will be the answer to that. Like,
I feel like the answer is in parenting.
Yeah.
Or
teach your children the importance of Africa. But
my
I can't
daughter
just help, like, people
my daughter's
move to
prepared.
Africa. Like, I can't.
Yeah, and also
My daughter was prepared.
Yeah, I was
prepared.
years. Like
I didn't even know what Ghana was
yeah.
about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't. And so how can I tell somebody else like me to be like, oh, move to Africa, this place, this place? I'm gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't taught that in school. My mom wasn't always talking about Africa either with me. So this is very real, very new for us. I just say come and get the experience, and come with an open mind. Do not come with your guard up. Do not come like thinking nothing's beneath you. But this is where you're from. Nothing is beneath you here. Nothing. This is who you are.
You just said you never know what Ghana was. So how did you discover Ghana?
So, from my mom. My mom actually came to Ghana a few years ago, and that's my first time really hearing something about it. Like, I knew of Africa, but maybe 5 years ago I couldn't even name 5 countries in Africa. I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest. because it wasn't really, they didn't make it important in the States. Like it wasn't like a big thing. It was always like maybe Europe or everybody want to go to Paris. Everybody want to, go to all these other places. It was just how we were stolen from Africa.
Yeah.
We was always taught how we were taken from Africa
And how we were
and how we were
slaves.
treated, but never the story, history before slavery,
right.
the history of our kings and queens
right.
over here
That's right.
already. I wasn't taught that in school. No, not at all.
And I want to say this, like, it took a lot of preparation. And like Karen says, like, even the preparation that I've given my children to be able to be acclimated in this space, she would still say that it wasn't enough because how do I even know really how to prepare you? But my timeline for bringing my children here was over 2 years. So I wanted to bring my kids right away, and I almost wanted to do it violently, like, this is where I live, y'all need to come. And then I have an amazing partner who was telling me, like, yo, that's not in their best interest. So when I started coming, I started being here on my own. I would leave and be here for like 9 months at a time. I came here on a holiday and was excited, but I had to come back to make sure, like, is this real? I want to see what life is like when I'm not on vacation.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you? And I sat in the energy. I cried, and I cried one time on the land saying I brought myself back home. It was very, very spiritual for me. It was not about, I've never even been to a tourist attraction. Coming here has always been about what it really means to come back. And so when I would go back, I would take those stories to my children. Teach my kids. When we would be overseas, we was already eating African food, learning African things. We had Africans in our family who's teaching us and showing us. And so I feel like certain things we were already engrafted in the system when we were over there because of how I surrounded them, that it wasn't so much of a culture shock when they got here. You know what I'm saying?
To get the youth to Africa, like, we really got to start opening our eyes and start really looking into who we are as people. Like, I don't want to just be known as black. Like, I don't want to. I'm not black. I'm African. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta really try to figure out who we are. They took our history from us, but I'm sure it's a way you can dive into yourself and really figure out who you are. And just wanting to know more, like having the feeling of wanting to know who you are will bring the youth here. But it's like they're not teaching us this. They're not teaching us how important it is to be black. They're actually showing us how hard it is to be black. It's kind of the opposite.
So
it's like
they're being drawn.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So when we do this work, we have to understand, and I know Coco will say yes to this, that a lot of this is not only by our own merit, but we got ancestors that's working on our behalf. We are living in prophecy. So like, I don't think we have to do a lot of
too.
Yeah, I don't think we have to do a lot of
lot.
convincing. Like, the revolution is being televised.
Yeah.
Like, people are waking up. People are like, I don't got to deal with
Exactly.
this. And so for me, that's why I think most of the work is not necessarily establishing a business, but really learning how to repatriate within our own selves, being honest about what it means, because there is no such thing as us coming here and being the new white man too, and coming here and doing the same thing that we did or what was happening to us in America is happening here. So that's why I feel like the first thing a person should do when they come to Africa is take whatever time they need to take to heal. If not, whatever you're birthing, you're going to be birthing out of that pain everything that I experienced in the States, I will bring that same trauma over here, in my relationships, in my business, and I don't want to birth anything out of that energy anymore.
Yeah, I sometimes feel bad about Africans and also African Americans. I know Europe is for Europeans. I know America is for the Americans or maybe the Caucasian. Africa is for African Americans and also Africans. But most Americans, most Europeans normally come to Africa to invest into Africa, then take our money back to the States.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, African Americans are not trying their effort to come back to Africa to invest into Africa. What is happening?
I don't know the answer to that, but I see it happening and I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that.
Say that again, because I want to get the fullness of what you're saying. I feel like in my heart, I know what you're saying, but I want to hear you. Can you say that again?
Yeah. You see, I see Europe to be the Europeans. It's for Europeans. I see America for American, the Caucasian. Africa is for African Americans and also Africans. So we have to build our continent.
That's right.
As a whole. We don't have to let somebody to come into our continent.
Right.
Invest into our continent. When a person gets money back, then you take it to the States, or then you take it to Europe and Africa.
No, it need to be staying in the continent. Yes.
So that's also government and leadership. Because when I look at what does it look like to make certain investments, they're talking about you gotta have a little bit over 250K to do any major investment. And a lot of us who are coming here, we don't necessarily have that type of money. Unless you're Steve Harvey, unless you're somebody else that's doing that kind of stuff. And that's the work for them. That's the work of the developers. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of the reasons for why Africa, I feel like, is struggling is because they don't make it easy for us to come over here and do what we do unless we're doing some underhanded stuff. So when we say win back Africa, because I'm gonna tell you what I believe. I don't believe that America is necessarily for the Europeans and all that because my ancestors built that place. So I feel like the people that's in the UK is over there building that. I feel like the world is for the melanated. This is ours. I believe in Pangea. We built it everywhere you go. I don't care. Any establishment is only successful because they got melanated people in the background, underground, being at the bottom of the pyramid, working it out. You understand? So the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And I do see myself as the Lord. Do you understand? So it's ours. But at the end of the day, we have to have a standard of how we need to be in leadership. We need to have a standard of how we need to strategize and figure out how we really going to maneuver out here. You understand? And not continue to do. Sometimes it feels easier to extract. Africa lets people extract from the Chinese to the Lebanese. When you think about, you didn't talk about what are some of my disappointments when I came here. When I came here, I started to see like it's unfortunate, but most of the Ghanaians who are here because of leadership, it's like y'all are serving us. Y'all are like slaves. Y'all are like literally in your own land. In your own land. So it's like I'm saying I'm leaving a place of slavery, but then I'm not really free when I come here and see you ain't free. Yeah. You understand? This is bothersome. So when I talk about organizing at grassroots, that's what I'm talking about. But it always gets challenging because when you keep people hungry, then they can't even be like this. Because the next Ghanaian is trying to take from the next Ghanaian, trying to take from the next Ghanaian, because they keep this place hungry. Until we internalize inside of ourselves what wealth really is and what wealth really means, and we redefine success within ourselves, and knowing that success is this interview. How I bonded with your wife. You understand?
Yeah. So, in your what do you call it, your opinion that you were saying, do you think Africa need this another revolution to develop Africa, maybe redesign Africa?
We need to come together. I said this earlier.
Yeah, now they're doing.
We need to look at all ourselves as one people. One people. We can't be divided by country names, governments, whatever you want to call it. Like we need to all be one people. When we all come together, there will be a revolution because we won't let nobody come up in our stuff and destroy our stuff. No.
And African love European.
No.
African love European.
They're rich because of us. Because of us.
They take from this land to make themselves awesome. So, and what they do is they keep people so poor over here and come back with crumbs. And when they come back with crumbs, you be so excited about the crumbs that they gave you. But every European country is benefiting from Africa. So I put demands on oppressors. You know what I'm saying to you? I put demands on them because everything that they have is coming from my place, coming from my home. You understand? Then we need to start doing that. We can't afraid to also. I don't want to say it on camera, but chill.
Well, I was like, interview to you, and since you guys have been in Africa for a couple of times now, maybe a couple of years now, what are some of the African food that you've tasted so far, and what are some of the African food that you can prepare so far?
So I pretty much tasted everything that like most of the common local foods, like all the soup foods, I've had all of them. Like the granite soup, light soup, okra. I've had akle. I've had cocoa rice balls. You name it, eba, kenke, everything. I've had all of it. Yeah. But I would say my favorite would be emotuo with granite soup, which is rice balls with peanut soup. And I don't get it with meat, y'all. I get it with eggs and garden egg, and it's so sweet. Y'all probably think I'm crazy because I don't get it with no chicken or no fish, but you don't need it. It's still good.
Yeah.
And then I learned to make akple and banku and granite soup and pepper stew too. The Voltarian way though, the Voltarian pepper stew. Okay, I learned that way. But my favorite thing would be like a mutual. And Banku is hard, y'all. Banku, Akbele, all that, it's hard. It's for your back and your legs. You gotta really get up in there. Okay.
You know, the fact that we are promoting Africa, the fact that we are promoting Ghana, let me say this, I'm not trying to be biased, I'm not trying
Okay.
to be degrade or maybe discriminate and so forth. Vegetarian food is the best.
Yeah, I
love
love vegetarian
vegetarian.
food.
Listen.
You're not alone. Their food is good, and y'all cook with the natural herbs. Like every time I make vegetarian food, I don't use like onga or remy. For those of y'all who don't know, onga or remy is like artificial seasonings, like the stuff we use in the states in the little can. They use herbs, ginger, basil, onion, tomato. They use the real stuff, and it's a different and earthy and natural, delicious flavor. Like Voltarians, okay?
Well, precisely, I'm eating a vegetarian, so I can even cook for you.
Yeah.
Anything. I can cook my phone, cameras, everything. I can cook for you. So, well, you have something to say?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
I love akbele. I'm sorry. I'm an akbele girl, baby. That's my thing. I love akbele, and I am a sucker for groundnut stew. And I love tuna, but when I'm in a Volta, I love tilapia. And you know what I learned? I learned that the tilapia in the Volta is not the same as like in the city.
No, 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 no,
Like
no.
I kind of be upset. Like it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It only takes like where I go a little over like 2 hours to get there. But the difference in fish, of course, I figure they gotta freeze it or whatever. But oh yeah, that's what I love. That's my shit.
It's so fresh. So I just want to say this on camera. We are preparing something for my beautiful lady. She's in Ghana now.
Yeah, Coco.
Wow. Maybe she's also a YouTuber, so you can
Subscribe to Coco Trend.
You know, we have a food project. We use beans and also corn flour to prepare the food. And we are planning to teach Coco how to do that. And very soon she'll be able to taste that food. So I'm advising each and everyone who is ready to taste that food to follow her, subscribe to her channel, subscribe to whatever she does on social media, and come and take the food.
That's right. Okay. I want to say this too because I'm an advocate against extraction. First of all, I want to shout out Coco because she contacted my daughter. She also subscribed to her YouTube channel, but then she also supported financially, and she's doing it up. Her and her husband. And I want to say that. I want to say we have to get in a space where we are not just taking from Africa. We cannot talk about how other people come here and take from Africa. We ourselves have to be first partaker of the movement of how we need to be when we're here. And so I want to shout out Coco for not only contacting my daughter, but for putting some seed in her hand, being like, yo, let's really support each other for real, for real. And I just want to give her a props for that.
Well, so since YouTubers are here, you are interviewing YouTubers, I wish you guys would put your YouTube handle for people to hear so that you can also support you on my channel. So I wish you put your video there. Yeah. So
I can start. So my YouTube channel is called Nakisha's Organic Economy. I think right now I got like 52 subscribers. I am in the process of putting out content. There is nothing on there right now but a picture and my little subscriber, whatever. But I'm working on it. And when it comes out, y'all gonna be cool. So y'all can still subscribe and just wait for me to drop that thing.
And y'all don't want to miss it. She gonna be dropping gems
things.
and talking about real stuff. You don't want to miss it. And you want to get it while it's free too. Okay?
Dropping that.
Yeah. But I have a YouTube channel as well. My YouTube channel is KC Worldwide, like the letter KC. And go subscribe, y'all. I post daily life living in Ghana as a diaspora and as a 21-year-old girl living in Ghana from Philly. What it's like. I post the real stuff. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I tell y'all the truth. So I also share travel tips and just pretty much real life out here, okay? And I also made banku on my channel before. I made a few dishes if you want to go check that out too. And also I have a Patreon. The Patreon is also KC Worldwide. For $5 a month, you get to see behind the scenes content of my life living in Ghana. I also give out travel tips. And I also do content building. Like if you want to build your YouTube for just $5 a month, I help you build your YouTube. I help you. I mentor you with that. So definitely go check out my Patreon, KC Worldwide. Thank you so much.
And
once you come mention anybody living close to you know the villager. I'm always a villager.
That's right.
So as usual, like I said, we have 4 YouTubers around.
Yes.
3 on camera. So I think we need to show the other person how you guys see. Look, this is
Cameraman.
YouTuber who is also the camera
Cameraman.
guy and also. So guys,
Bye.
See you.
Till next time.
Till next time.